Hey Quavanda, let's take a look at your week 1 assignment 4. I think that the kind of the main, I guess, push for this assignment, I thought you did a great job on. The drawing that you have underneath, the perspective, and the structure and layout of the cube are excellent. It feels like a strong drawing underneath everything, and you've done a great job of I guess the main part of this assignment. You've done a great job of getting very distinct sides to your cubes, a light, a middle, and a dark that feel very different from each other, and that help to really make the cubes feel three-dimensional. The colored pencil one works a little better if we zoom out a little bit more than when we're kind of zoomed in. But I thought it did a really nice job, really overall, of getting that kind of three-dimensionality to everything. But I do feel like we're continuing to see the same issue that we saw in the last couple of assignments, which is the edges and the color bleeding. And this is really starting to adversely affect the drawing, especially I think the edge quality, because you've got this terrific drawing underneath that is being laid out. You're plotting out all the perspective with the vanishing points, and it feels terrific, but I just feel like as you move in with the marker on the edges, it doesn't match that crispness. So corners aren't sharp, they're kind of rounded. Lines that should be just completely straight from top to bottom end up being a little bit too wobbly. We really see it on kind of the top plane and the side of this cube, and it takes away from the overall kind of finish of the cube. We're seeing kind of bleeding occurring here where we're softening up of some of the edges, and we're seeing some bleeding here as well where some of it is kind of encroaching on the planes that it shouldn't. So these are, they are minor if they are isolated, but they become more and more substantial as they start to kind of rack up their instances. So we're seeing it here, but then we see it kind of right above, and then we see it here and here, and so on and so forth, and then your shape doesn't become as defined as it needs to be. So again, I can't really overstress just trying to figure out a better paper solution. I think your drawing skills, at least from this perspective assignment, look really good, and I think your use of the marker, again, pretty good, and understanding the whole value thing and using your grays, I think to maximum effect is great. But just having silly things like edge quality and bleeding and stuff like that undermine it are, I think a bit of a drag. So I think some of it, you can try to be a little bit more careful along your edges. Use a straight edge if you have one. You need to have a straight edge that is a little bit off the surface of the paper. So having something underneath it, taping coins, just having another layer of something underneath it to separate it from the paper helps. But you need to be more careful with the edges. It needs to be cleaner. Things need to be sharper and crisper. But I think really, everything else really seems to be working out well. So hopefully we can get it resolved, at least hopefully by next week, if not then by week 3. Otherwise, just keep up kind of the progress and, see if we can resolve some of those issues.